Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my October wrap-up. I will have October wrap-up part 1 in the description box below. I did that because in the first 11 days of October I read 9 books and I knew that it would be like a 45-minute video if I didn't split it up. So this is part 2. In the last video we ended on Feed by Mira Grant. I was in the middle of it and I was doing that as an audiobook for my book club, and I really did enjoy that book. It was really enjoyable. It was entertaining. It was basically like zombie type thing, and it dealt with like these bloggers and kind of their story. And I did the audiobook, which I really enjoyed. I do think that's a great way to read that book. And I think the only thing that really hurt that book, and I think I mentioned this before, is that it's a little dated because it was written, I think, it was released, I would say, in 2010. And so it was supposed to be taking place in like 2039, 2040. And some of the references were a little dated because it was written in 2010. But other than that, I did enjoy the book. I don't know that I will continue on with the series, but I did enjoy my time reading that one. So, the next book that I read is book 2 in the Murderbot Diaries, and that is Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. I read these books in one sitting because, I mean, they are pretty short, but I enjoy them so much. And I loved the very first book, which was All Systems Red. But this one, I think I enjoyed even more. And I've been getting them from the library, but I think I actually want to buy the whole series. And it's not done yet. There's more coming out. Because I could see myself rereading them over, especially the second one. I just really enjoyed this book. Our Murderbot is what he calls himself. He is an android kind of thing that looks like a human. And it's just, yeah, you just kind of got to read the series. But like I said, it's a very short book. So even if you're not really into sci-fi, they're so short that it can get you like an introduction to sci-fi. And I just really loved it. And he has like a new friend that he meets called Art. And yeah, it's a really good book. It's a really good time. I can totally see myself rereading that one again because it was just so enjoyable. And they're funny. They're so funny and just fast-paced. I really like them. So I do absolutely give that one 2 thumbs up and highly recommend it. The next book that I read, let's see what it was. Spinning Silver. So I actually have that. Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Okay, so here's the thing. And my cover is the UK cover, so it looks a little different. It looks a little bit more, the cover of it, if you've seen the cover for Uprooted, it's basically the same cover, just blue and the different characters. But I didn't realize this till somebody said later. Uprooted is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I loved Uprooted so much. So I was really looking forward to this one. This one is more like a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. I did like it, and the thing is, I had to push through this book for a bit. It really didn't get exciting until it got towards the end, and that's when it became a page turner. So I didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would, but I do like it. I know other people have either had, like, it's been mixed reviews. Like, people either love it or they were just like, meh. And I'm kind of on that meh scale because, I don't know. And I just was so kind of disappointed in that fact. But it was a good time. Like, I don't, it's not a bad book. I will recommend it to you. But I just was expecting Uprooted. Here's the thing that really gets you. Uprooted follows basically one character. This one follows so many characters. And you don't get any warning. You know how you read different fantasy books and it's like different points of view, and at the beginning of the chapter or section it'll be like the person's name, and then you know who you're working with. This book doesn't do that at all. And in fact, you can change points of view within the actual chapters. And you got to figure it out, which wasn't really that difficult, but yeah, I wanted to like this so much more than I did, but I'd give it like 3.75 to 4 stars because it's not bad. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I think I had such high hopes for it. But moving on, the next one I did was Sadie. I did Sadie by Courtney Summers. Everybody's been talking about it. Originally, I'd gotten the book from the library, but everyone was like, do the audiobook. So I was like, okay. So I took the book back, got the audiobook, and the podcast part, I wish I had just done the audiobooks for the podcast part and then read Sadie's part, because Sadie's point of view was so drawn out and just slow and was just... I did not enjoy this book as much as I thought it would. It was a good story. I just didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else is like raving about it, and I'm hearing other people say that too, so I don't feel so bad. But the podcast part of the book was phenomenal, and the fact that it was a full cast. I love an audiobook. I was an English major. An audiobook that has a full cast. I think that just adds a different just level to the audiobook, and so that I did enjoy. But like I said, if I had like the audiobook and listened to the podcast part and then just read her part, because I could read through it so much quicker, then maybe. But no, I didn't really enjoy it. But it wasn't bad. I give it like 3 stars, 3.5. I don't know. It's another one of those things where I was expecting great things and it just didn't deliver. One of my goals this year was to do at least one nonfiction book a month, and I didn't really do that like every single month, but I shoved some together, and I feel like I'm on my 11th one right now, and we're in November, so that's on track. So it's working. But my nonfiction book for the month was Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I really like this book. Not only does she share like actual things from her life that people might not ever share because they're embarrassing, she shares them. And also she ends each chapter with like this things that helped me section, and really liked it. So she not only was giving you advice and inspiration and things like that, she was also giving you practical things that you could do to put those things into place. And so I like that in a book. So this was a really good read for me. I did enjoy this. And I've read so many like books like this in the past and over the years and for business and things that it's just like I need something new. I get the same thing like regurgitated to me over and over again. So I felt like this was new because it was just so raw and real. And I really do recommend this. I like this book a lot. The next book, oh my word, was Old Man's War by John Scalzi. So if you have been following me for a little bit, you know that we're doing a book bingo with my book club, and one of the books, or one of the squares, is read a book that your librarian or barista recommends. So I asked my librarian for some book recommendations, and this was the very first one on her list. And it's Old Man's War by John Scalzi. Now, I like sci-fi, period. But this is awesome. This is so funny. And what happens is, actually, I'll read you the very first line. It just kind of sets you up for the book. And it's, I did 2 things on my 75th birthday. I visited my wife's grave, then I joined the army. And basically, he's on Earth, and then there are colonies and stuff with humans on other planets, and there are aliens on other planets, some that the humans have like allied with, and others that they're in a war with. The people on Earth don't really know a lot about the stuff that's going on in the colonies, but they just know they're there. And so they want people who are older and more mature, and so when they're 75, they can join the army. And they think that they're just going to be made young again, but there's other stuff going on. This is so good, and it's so funny. I saw this like playing out in my head, and I just enjoyed this so much. I can't even recommend this enough to you. Even if you don't really like sci-fi, give this a shot because it's funny and it's not really that long. I really, really liked it. Alright guys, do not pass out. Do not adjust your screen. If you have to rewind and make sure that I actually said this, you can. As of the filming of this video, this year alone, I have finished 99 books. Just this year alone. So please know that I read a lot. But this is the very first time I have ever read Harry Potter. So, after Old Man's War, I picked up Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I love these 20th anniversary editions, and you can buy them in the different houses. So as they come out, I'm buying them in different houses. So I have the Ravenclaw edition of the second book. But anyway, when these came out in like 97, I either had graduated high school or I thought these were for kids. I didn't realize until much, much later that grown-ups read them too. And plus, I read middle grade fiction now a little bit more than I ever have, as far as like, cause sometimes you need a break from the gore and the crazy and just everything. And middle grade just gives you that, you still get exciting adventure and in the feels and stuff, but you don't really get the gore. And Harry Potter has been on my list for a little while because everyone's like, just read it. And I'm like, okay, I plan to, and I read it, and yes, and I think I have a unique perspective because I am coming in as an adult, and I don't have any nostalgia with these books at all. I did enjoy them. I really like them. The Weasley family is amazing, and I just want to like throttle his like aunt and uncle. What's up with that garbage? But I love them. I really want an owl now. And I felt like the ending was a little anticlimactic, but I feel like everything is kind of set up for the future. So I did enjoy this a lot, and I am on deck to read the next one, The Chamber of Secrets. And so, yeah. Can you believe it? It took me this long to read Harry Potter, but there it is. The last book that I read was actually, it's the second book in the Old Man's War. It's the Ghost Brigades. I feel like I liked Old Man's War a lot more. This actually follows someone you meet in here, and I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to ruin this for you by telling you too much about this one. But yeah, stuff goes down, and it deals with like the colonial union having to track down a traitor, and because he's like trying to come against, like work with other like enemy alien races to start a war against the humans for reasons. And this was like good. This was exciting at parts where you're like, what's happening now? But yeah, I do recommend this. Is good, and I'm going to continue with the series. It's so funny, the next book I believe is The Last Colony, and I accidentally picked up the wrong book when I was at the library. Like I grabbed this one and I meant to grab The Lost Colony, but I grabbed The Android's Dream, which is also by John Scalzi. I'm just looking at it, it's right there. And I was like, oh man, but then I was reading the synopsis of it and I'm like, this looks really good too. But I was like, no, I'm going to take it back because I don't need to start another series and then just be like trying to read all the series at once. It's like, I'll just save that one. We'll do with Old Man's War first because I believe it has 6 books in it. And I'm 2 down. So that's it, you guys. That is the rest of the, that's the rest of the story. That's the rest of the books that I read in October. I read some really good stuff this year. Yes, this year. But also this month. And I'm just really pleased with what I've wound up with. Now this month, let me look. I think I finished like 16 books this month. Let's see. Here it is. I finished 17 books this month, which is a record, I think, for me. So in November, I want to slow down. And the thing is, I tell myself I'm going to slow down and just read and enjoy the books. But the thing is, I just read fast. So I'm going to just slow down and relax and just try to read and enjoy some things that maybe are on my TBR list or some things that I read. I have one at the library right now waiting for me that I'm going to go pick up in a few minutes that I'm really excited for. That is a mystery. So I think right now, I feel like this past half a week I've been in a little bit of a rut, and that's fine. I just like everything that I pick up, it's not really capturing me, but I feel like it would capture me later. Like, for instance, I had the book Dry by Neil Shusterman and his son Jared. That book gave me so much anxiety because it's dealing with not just, you know, like dystopian society. It's going from the society we live in and it's watching everything crumble to become a dystopian society. And it gave me so much anxiety that I like, and I'm not really an anxious person, but I have so much going on, but I was like, I can't deal with this right now. So I literally had to put that down. I think if I owned the book, it's a library book, I would probably read it in parts so I wouldn't overwhelm myself, but it's just the human nature and stuff. It was just like, okay, I need to step away from this. I need something that's happy or you know, even if a mystery, it's fast paced and it moves. So that's what I kind of am in the mood for right now. But anyway, tell me what you guys have read in October. I really want to know, and I want some good recommendations for the future, especially Christmas. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, gorgeous.